So for this code, as you know, I used Whimsical to make the flowchart to help me understand how the code is made and how it is put into the Python program and how chat writes it. So we start the code, we have to download the required packages. They are all defined up here so that we can actually fulfill our code. Then lines 7 through 16 loads stock symbols and the benchmark symbols, but it uses an if-else statement, and this is where we're going to start the creation of our first loop, where we are using an if-else statement to find out if the files can be downloaded. If the files can be downloaded, then the code continues into that second step of the loop, where it's going to ask if the data that was downloaded is valid. If that downloaded data is valid, then we proceed with the code. If that downloaded data isn't valid, then you get an error message. But going back to that first step, if that data could not be downloaded, then you get an error message. So just to clarify, the two loops you're going through here is the first one is, can the data be downloaded? The second one is, is the downloaded data valid? And that's your first loop that you create. Then the second loop that you create comes from lines 18 to 82, quite big chunks here. And this is piggybacking off of that second if statement, asking if the data that was downloaded is valid. This is that second loop that's created, where this loop is going through all the calculations, saying that, okay, since the data that we downloaded is valid and can be downloaded, now we're going to run through the calculations of mean returns, covariance matrix, Sharpe ratio, but doing it using the optimized portfolio, finding the optimizing weights, portfolio daily returns, plot efficient frontier, and we're going to load the benchmark data. Since we could download the data and we could download valid data. Then, sorry, it's a little shaky. Then we're going to jump down. You see all that code right there. It's a lot of code it's running through. Then we jump down to lines 84 to the end of the code, where we have another if-else statement, where it's just asking the program if the benchmark data that was pulled or found, if it's valid. If it is valid, then the code compares the portfolio data, or all the portfolio that was found, to the benchmark performance. If the benchmark data that was found is not valid, then a warning message is printed out about the benchmark. But if it is valid, it will display those comparisons for the user to see, so that way the user can make an informed decision. And that is the end of the code.